What made you want to do the podcast? And what, no, matter of fact, what was your first introduction of making you wanted to, no, matter of fact, hold on. What was this first decision of you wanting to do, like just getting into music or whatever you do? You know what I'm saying? What made you, what inspired you to not only, do music, because you've been in the music industry before too, and also what inspired you to do the podcast?
I was letting you just sit there and just try to hammer out that question.
I mean, you know what?
You're working on it. You're working.
I'm working on it because I'm thinking of shit. But not only
The
that, I was just thinking of what I wanted to say.
the Me and Creto used to do it all the time. We grew up doing music, and I always tried to get mixtape features for everybody. And then that's how I met B, obviously B Styles. And then that's eventually got us into doing songs with people and features. And then when COVID hit, there was a whole wave of hockey prospects that we were going to miss because we couldn't get autographs from them. So we were going to miss out on them. And that's when we were like, why don't we interview them and get a drop from them at the same time? And then very first day we did it, we did the local football team. And then we did Rich Rocca, your boy, on day one. And then we did a couple of hockey players that now are in the NHL. So it's like, that was the start of it on June 20th, 2020, I think, straight during COVID.
See?
And yeah, and then when I needed a rap partner because other people weren't cutting it, I had to call it and fucking Prince Allen.
For real. All right. So, any questions for me?
How happy were you when we asked you to get involved in this?
Man, first of all, I remember, you know, when you just was like, "Hey, man, how about you do the logo, right?" And I was like, "No," you was like, "Yeah, do a cover art for the thing," and I think you wanted me to do the logo too, and I tried to do the logo too.
Yeah,
But then you was like, "Fuck that, I got a logo." You know what I'm saying? And I did it. I did the the cover art at first. That was one rough draft. Then you was like, "Hey, how about you come in? You know what I'm saying, and do some questions, you know?" And I was like, "Okay." Especially whenever you did the Al Snow interview, right?
was that the first one?
Yeah, that was the first one. That was actually like the first one, and I was like, "Oh shit!" And that's what I'm reminding. First thing I was thinking about is Minion. Whenever he went fucking naked, damn near naked, randomly in that fucking match with I forgot which match with Al Snow. And it might have been maybe a random person that he was wrestling, and he this, this fucking came out. And I remember once you let me start doing the questions like for Busy Bone and of course TQ. I didn't get to do the ones for Lil Flip or anything. That's when you said, "Hey, how about you come on?" And I remember TQ was supposed to be the first one I interviewed, but mom passed. You know what I mean?
All right.
You remember that? And I remember you doing the video, and that's why I was like, "Yo, I can't." I was already crushed because one, my mom passed, and two, what I'm saying, I'm like, "Damn, man, I'm really getting do the podcast." So I was just like, first of all, I was nervous at first, but once I was like, okay, everything getting a little rolling and stuff, I was like, I didn't never knew I'd be that talkative like Nori, nothing like that. So shout out to Nori too, because he talks all over the place. But even with that, I was like, okay. And then when we did Razzcast, that's when I was just like, okay, you know what I'm saying? This is gonna be cool. Well, because I didn't do Razzcast. Razzcast was right after was the Razzcast right after Richie Rich?
Jail felony. I thought we did jail felony, and then we came jail felony
Jail
came
Jail
and
Felony did
and
come
then jail
first.
felony came back for the Razcans
Yeah,
one.
yeah. So it was Richie Rich because I remember Richie Rich was the
I think
first
that
one.
was your first rap one.
Yeah, that was when I was really nervous. That's why I talked a lot, was because of that. But after that, I was just like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Once we did who was next after Richie Rich? Maybe was it
I did Tash from the Licks.
Tash for the Licks? I think was I supposed to be on that one?
I don't know. I don't know if I can't remember if I did that alone or not.
I think you did. Oh, was it was it Freeway Rick Ross? It was it was it was Richie Rich, Freeway Rick Ross, then it was J.O. Felony, then Razzcast. Because remember we brought back J.O. Felony because we thought that he was going to be a special guest. That
Yeah,
right there, I was happy as hell, man. And still am happy. I mean, I do this for the culture, bro. Like just like and now I'm glad that because look, we done made this bond. And even though Mike ain't here now, but but shout out to Mike too, by the way. Gotta shout
yeah,
out to Mike.
yeah,
Shout out to
yeah.
Mike. Because he's always been there. So I feel like, that's I was just happy, bro.
That's what happens when you have kids
Yeah, true. Ain't nothing
and
wrong
don't
with that.
and we don't make any money.
But the money sooner or
If,
later will
if
come.
it no, if it made money, he would be here.
Oh, oh, okay, okay. I got it.